Well, still working on this 7-horse Tecumseh carburetor here. Like I say, this is early 1970s vintage carburetor. Have another 8-horse carburetor next to it here. I've been looking around for Tecumseh parts. I plan on using this carburetor if I can on an upcoming project I'm working on. Anyways, just to refresh your memory there, the worst design video I made, I finally got the carburetor off the engine here. Had to cut this nut off that was holding the carburetor on there. I'll rotate it around here and show you what the problem with this design is. If you can see here, this Phillips head bolt there, when I was turning the nut, it was just spinning, so it was not going to come off. The other one on the other side, the nut came off, but the whole problem with the design is that the bolts are just free to turn, screws should I say, because they have a Phillips head, but it's a countersunk type head. Anyways, bad design, and Tecumseh did correct it. I haven't seen any newer engines like this, but there seem to be a fair number of these old ones around. One thing my opinion, this is just my opinion, the older Tecumseh engines are better than the later ones. I'm just saying that because this early 70s snowblower engine, it ran fine, you know, it didn't put a rod out the side or anything, but I've seen lots of new 8-horses that have. And I think they had tolerance issues on their connecting rod to the crankshaft. That's just, like I say, my opinion, but it seems to be backed up by a few examples. The one thing I wanted to point out here, while I was cleaning this carburetor out, I was blowing with compressed air. I had this soaking in Varsol for 2 days. Then I was blowing it out with compressed air here where the line goes to the tank, and it was pointed away from me, and all of a sudden I heard a pop, kind of a pop noise, and something hit the wall, and I couldn't find the part. I got a bunch of just parts and things against the wall, and it's kind of dirty there, so I couldn't find it. I didn't even know what it looked like. So I had to investigate with this 8-horse, and what it was down in where your float attaches to this little needle valve there, it turns out there is a little tiny, you can see it there, a little tiny plastic type of bushing, I guess you'd call it, that the needle sits against, and I blew that right out of there and lost it. So I had to rescue one out of a 3-horse lawnmower carburetor, pop it out with compressed air, but I took some measurements on it in case anyone has the same problem and can't get a replacement part. It's about 186,000 diameter, like 95 thousandths thick, and has a 5/64 hole on the inside. And if you don't have it, your needle drops right in and has nothing to seat against, and also the float won't be able to hold any pressure against it. So you have to have that little, I guess it's a seat in effect, in the carburetor there, where the needle valve on the float goes. Anyway, just to let you know my issues there. Now, I've ran into a few problems. I got my float here, I soldered it up, but had it in Varsol for a couple days, and some of the Varsol got inside, and it seems to want to keep catching fire and popping a little hole in it there, but I'll rectify that somehow. The other thing I suspect is going to happen, these Tecumsehs were famous for the bowl, I guess bleeder valve there or whatever, so you can empty the bowl. It liked to leak, so I may end up JB welding that, just plugging the hole up. Like I say, everything else seems to have unscrewed, and all the passages seem to be clear on it there, in spite of some apparent water damage over the years. So I have a different float there if I have to off the 8-horse. And the other thing I wonder about is whether these rubber gasket there that goes between the float bowl and the carburetor, whether they're available. This one's in one piece, but I don't know how well it's going to seal. Anyway, just to show you there the fun I'm having on this old Tecumseh carburetor. Like I say, in my opinion, the Tecumseh carburetors weren't all that bad. I, didn't have too bad problems with them, but everybody's got their own opinion, I guess. So anyway, I guess that's a long enough video for now, so we will catch you later then.